Now it's time for Inspirational Women, and my guest, Janet McKee, a high-performance success specialist and author of Stressless Success, The Surprising Secrets to a Life of Passion, Purpose, and Prosperity. We're so fortunate to have Janet spend her time with us this morning. It will be like having our own personal life coach and one who brings us some incredible gifts. Janet McKee, good morning, and thank you so greatly for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Kate. Thank you for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, you are, I think, the perfect guest, the perfect antidote, the perfect support for us this morning as we look at our life, look backwards somewhat, look forward, look at what's around us, and seeing challenges, seeing just different opportunities, of course, in all that's going on. And with a book such as this, Stressless Success, The Surprising Secrets to a Life of Passion, Purpose, and Prosperity, that's just most fitting.
Oh, it is. Thank you. And that wasn't planned. When I wrote the book all last year and launched it in February, I had no idea we were going to experience a worldwide pandemic.
Well, and maybe that is something for us to consider, that, we do what we need to do and things just fall in place. Not that we can create it to be that way, but it's just being in harmony with life.
What we are going to talk about today, Kate, is you do create it. There really isn't just coincidence. When you learn what we're going to talk about today, you have the power to create those things to happen. There is no accident that I was writing this book all last year and launched it. I actually pushed to launch it in February. My book coach even said, "You're not going to make it. That's a little bit too soon." And I made it and hit #1 bestseller in 5 categories because there was something coming from within me. I was creating it from my energy, and that's what we're going to talk about. Things do not happen by accident. We have more power than we ever realized over what does happen around us and with our lives than we ever thought before. And I'm so excited to share that with you this morning.
Well, and the time is prime for that, because I think we know that there's probably this far into are dealing with this pandemic that people are really beginning to feel the strain and the stress of it. And we need to just be aware of that and know that we have that power. As you say, just be aware of the energy and make those changes.
Exactly, because everybody feels they're victims right now. Everybody feels hopeless. They're victims of what's happening in the world, what's happening in the economy, what's happening with the government. And we can focus on feeling like victims, which feels horrible, and that's not going to provide the opportunity to create that energy that we're going to talk about that creates a better life.
Precisely. And the thing is that this is coming from your own personal experience, so that it's not just some theory, philosophy, although philosophy is a great thing, but you've experienced challenges in your life. You're writing from that space, so we don't necessarily have to then live through all of that ourselves. We can take your experience, take what you're offering us in Stressless Success, and really launch forward.
Exactly. I don't want everyone to learn the hard way the way I did. I hit walls in every area of my life. And literally, the corporate Fortune 500 executive almost died from massive burnout and stress. And from that, I searched the world for answers. And because of what I discovered, I literally rose from those ashes and dedicate my life now to helping others succeed without stress.
And we are right in the midst of that kind of thing ourselves. And so this is just a perfect timing, if you will, to be able to speak with you, learn from your experiences, and you offer, it's incredible with this book, and we have the workbook, and it's like having a personal coach as we work with this.
Yes, exactly. I'm so glad you recognize that I also created a workbook to go along with the book. I want people to take this book in their hands, literally open it, and put it to use in their lives. That's why I've dedicated myself to writing this book, to getting it out there and getting it into people's hands. This information is so important and so powerful. And from this moment, with this information, people are going to create a better outcome. If it wasn't for these challenges that we're experiencing right now, they may have never even stumbled upon this interview or stumbled upon this book. And this is the opportunity to learn these tools and put them to use.
And we should note then, right at the outset, with this book, there is the workbook. So you're able to purchase the book and at the same time get the workbook and have that coaching tool with you right at hand.
Exactly, especially for people that can't afford to work with me one-on-one. But let me tell you, I'm not in the business of selling books. I'm in the business of getting this information into people's hands in any way possible. So because of what's happening right now, I'm literally giving the book away for free. And your audience can visit janetmckee.com, JanetMckee, janetmckee.com. That's me. I'm the author. Not only learn more about me, how to contact me, feel free to contact me with questions and comments, but literally you have the opportunity to get immediate download of a PDF to help get on a 3-day Banish Burnout plan, but also you have the option to order the book for free.
See, isn't that amazing? There's a silver lining. You know, here we're in this stressful time, but here's a gift that's going to help us convert what's going on and really come out the other end of it so much more stronger and more powerful.
And that's exactly what's going to happen with the world, with the economy. Trust me, because of these challenges, when everything opens back up again, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be better than ever. But the power is in our hands right now to create that.
And that power, I think that is what we need to realize, isn't it, Janet? That we have this time and energy, and we have to choose how we are going to treat it. So we could stay feeling down, depressed, victimized, or take this kind of opportunity and make it work for us so we are prepared for great reentry.
Exactly. But what we're going to talk about today, Kate, is it's different than what we all heard before. We've heard so many people, and this is good. This is a good foundation. It's a good basis that all you need to do is think positively, right? Oh, you just need a positive mindset. Well, what I discovered is that's not the answer.
Exactly. And that is what is so amazing and interesting. So let's delve into that.
Great. What happens is when we're facing very serious challenges, we're upset, we're angry, we're fearful, we're concerned, we're worried, right? And someone comes along with a great book or a great speech, and they say, you just need to think positively. Well, you can't do it when you're in a really bad place. And what I found is if you try to do it, to think a positive thought about the topic that you are upset about, you actually make the situation worse. And let me explain. When you're trying to force a positive thought about something you're fearful about, you can conjure this thought in your head, but you're putting more emphasis around the fear. Because every thought has two sides of the coin. And you can try to force a positive thought, but that energy of fear is being emphasized because the thought you're trying to force is about a subject that you're really upset about. I discovered this when I was working with a client of mine, CEO of a $250 million company, and that client, at the time, things were going great in the business, everything was fine, and they said, but what I'm really worried about is all the stress and pressure with my business is I'm having this chronic pain in my abdomen. And I'm very afraid that all of the pressure from my business has caused me to develop a chronic disease, and I'm very scared. And they said to me, but Jan, don't worry, I know all the thoughts about positive thinking and positive mindset and positive affirmations. I took all the seminars, read all the books. I know exactly what I need to do. So I go to bed at night and I tell myself positive thoughts. about my health. And I said, what are you saying to yourself? Oh, I go to bed and I say, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. And I'm listening, and what I heard was not positivity. What I heard was fear. Mm-hmm. And that's when I discovered that the very effort, the very struggle of forcing a positive thought around what that client was fearful about was putting more fear into their energy. They were putting more fear out there in the world. And we all know this. We know this. We have a sixth sense about people, right? Mm-hmm. When somebody walks into the room and they're really angry and they're upset and they're frustrated, you don't even have to look at them. You can feel it.
Yes.
Same thing if somebody comes in and they're happy and they're bubbly and they're bouncing into the room. Again, you can feel it. Well, this is your energy, and it's very different than the thoughts that you're thinking in your head. It can be. Now, positive thinking, if you're feeling good about those thoughts, is great. That's a great foundation. But right now, it is very difficult to feel positive about what's happening, right? To think a positive thought and feel positive. So I talk about it's not about thinking positively, it's about being positive, which is different. Is that starting to make sense?
Yes, absolutely. It's that energy. And so awareness, isn't awareness like the beginnings of it? We have to start there and realize that.
Bingo. Yes. Awareness. I talk about it's like shedding the light of awareness. Part of my business, I own a farm, and we had this hemp rug in the living room one summer. People that were renting went away for the month, and it rained all the month of July. They came back, and there was mold on the rug. And we had to read what to do. What are we supposed to do? We Googled online, and it said, put it out into the sun. We put the rug out into the sunlight, and it dissolved the mold. The same thing with this. We want to be the light of awareness, bring the light of awareness onto this. But it comes from what do you feel like? Be aware of what you're feeling, not necessarily your thoughts, because it's your feeling that generates your energy, and that's where you create your life, from the energy that you give off. But awareness is key, but I recommend be aware of what you're feeling, not what you're thinking, because you know your head goes in a million directions. How can you even control that? And the more you struggle and strive to control your head and all the thoughts that fly around, the more frustrated you become. It's almost impossible.
So what do we do? That is a key thing, I think, is that thoughts can just so overwhelm us that we aren't able to really get to the core of what is that feeling and to deal with it. So how can we control those crazy thoughts going on?
Okay, we're going to get out of our head and into our energy. And that's a whole section of my book, Stressless Success. Because the head is just going in a million directions, we can't control it. So let's just work on our energy. And wellness is the foundation. I've been a wellness expert for decades. So, of course, and that's come out in research by the High Performance Institute. The world's most accomplished people know that wellness is number one priority. And what do I mean by that? You got to get good rest. Drink fresh water. You got to be hydrated. Move your body. Breathe fresh air. Eat real foods grown the way Mother Nature intended. Okay? Take care of yourself. Because you know what that is like, Kate? Those days when you are rested and you feel fabulous, everything just seems to flow in your life. Well, you have the opportunity to do that. And it takes a decision to do it now. Get rest now. As a matter of fact, research has shown by medical doctors I work with that those hours of sleep not only give you rest and rejuvenation, but they boost your immune system to help you fight disease, even viruses. Okay, so rest. Get to sleep early. Make it a priority. And take good care of yourself, because then at least you're giving yourself a foundation of wellness where you feel better. You know, when you're exhausted and you're hyped up on sugar and junk food, you can't even think clearly. So how can you think clearly about ways to deal with these challenges if you're exhausted and not taking good care of yourself? Then the first thing in the morning, I want you to create your first thought. Instead of allowing thoughts to just flow in our head, what usually happens when we wake up in the morning? A worry. Like, oh no, I got to get up. I got to get to work. I got to call my boss. I got to take care of the kids. I got to feed the dog, right? Our head is like, oh no, the day. Well, don't allow, like I said before, just don't allow thoughts to flow. We're going to create. So choose a thought that feels better. And remember, it always comes down to feeling because that's our energy. So wake up and reach for, oh, the sun came up again today, even if you can't see the sun. It rose today. That's wonderful. I'm breathing. I'm alive. Today's going to go well. But feel it. What does it feel like to have your day go well? To appreciate that the sun rose again today, right? Get the feeling. I used to say, oh, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to meet new great clients. I'm going to have these great conversations. And I noticed my day was getting better. Do you know what I say to myself now in the morning, Kate?
What's that?
I say, today is going to be the best day of my life. And I feel what it feels like. And guess what today is?
The best day of your life.
Yes, right. I'm here on the radio talking to wonderful Kate and talking to all these people in Seattle. Like, when does that happen, right?
Yes.
It's like, isn't that the best day of my life when I'm passionate about sharing these ideas with others? I couldn't hope for a better day or a better morning. So this is what happens. But it's the feeling that you get. Then, okay, we're going to talk about, you cannot just leap to a positive thought about something you're fearful about. So I talk about the analogy of a ladder. And imagine you're at the low rung of a ladder and you're feeling fear, anger, frustration, hopelessness. It doesn't feel good, right? And somebody comes along and says, you just need a positive mindset. So you try to leap to the top rung of a ladder. What happens if you leap to the top rung of a ladder? You're going to fall off the ladder and break your leg. Doesn't work. Instead, I want everyone to learn how to climb the ladder with little thoughts that feel better, such as, okay, I've had challenges before, and I learned from them. They helped me become stronger and wiser. I'm a smart person, and I'm facing a challenge, but I know there are solutions, and I'm working toward that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm climbing one rung of the ladder at a time, getting a hold, a grip that I feel good about, and getting solid footing because it feels better. And that's what you begin to create. Now, at some point, you're going to reach a rung that doesn't feel good because you're going to go too high. The next thing I want everyone to do is walk away. Walk away from that ladder. Walk away from the topic that is upsetting you. Do not try to force a positive thought. Just walk away. Get outside in Mother Nature, breathe fresh air, do some gardening, walk your dog, pet your cat, dance and sing to some uplifting music. Do something you love. Think about someone you love. Imagine you're at your most favorite vacation from years ago, and imagine what does it feel like to be on the beach with your toes in the sand. What am I doing? I'm expanding and elevating your energy. Once you expand and elevate your energy, then go back to the ladder when you're ready. And you'll notice you'll be able to climb higher. When we struggle and stress, we put up walls of resistance. And those walls of resistance not only block solutions and opportunities and possibilities from coming to you, but they also wear you out. That's where burnout comes from. Burnout comes from everybody choosing this energy of frustration and struggle and stress and striving, and it wears you out. Have you ever worked on a project that you were so excited about that you put in extra hours and effort, and by the end of the day you actually felt energized? It was a choice. Yeah. It was that energy you put into the project because you were excited about it. So this is what I'm talking about, but we've got the power within us. The power is within each and every person to create this. But it takes practice. Just like a golfer. right? A professional golfer, professional athlete, they practice every day. Even though they're excellent at what they do, they practice. A musician, they practice. But this is far easier than golfing or playing a musical instrument. This is practicing, paying attention, awareness of your energy. How are you feeling? And do something. Pull something out of your toolbox that I just built for you. Something that expands and elevates your energy. And everything else is going to flow more easily. I promise.
And I feel that right now we're really in the middle of what we could call like an experiment. Many of us are working from home. We have more of that opportunity to take that break and incorporate that and get outside to breathe some fresh air. Just take those breaks that maybe when we're in an office environment, we can't do so readily.
Exactly. That was beautifully said, because you just took our current situation and found something to appreciate about it. And couldn't you feel that? I could feel what you just said. Go outside and breathe fresh air. I imagined myself standing outside and breathing a deep breath of fresh air and looking up at the sky. I felt it, what you just said. Beautiful.
And one thing about that fresh air too, Janet, is it is more so because there's less commuting going on. I think it's actually been documented that the air is cleaner. Right?
Another benefit to appreciate.
Right.
What's going on. Love it.
And that's what we need to do. And that is why this wonderful book, Stressless Success, is here for us at the right time, as we had mentioned earlier, and that you're really making it so readily available to anyone who wants to take this opportunity.
Exactly. And in the book, I will take each and every person by the hand and walk them through. You're going to hear about all my challenges. I hit rock bottom in every area of my life. Professionally, my health, completely. I reached a debilitating health challenge. My husband of 26 years walked out, left me at the brink of financial disaster. I've been there. I've been in the shoes of someone facing dire consequences. But you do not have to face dire consequences to learn these skills. The book is going to walk you through. I also work with people one-on-one. I do a lot of speaking. I'm doing it virtually now. A lot of organizations, they have their employees at home. We're doing virtual workshops where I'm explaining all of these things about how to experience what I call the Stressless Success shift. And what these companies are doing is they're getting a copy of the book for all their employees. They're putting me virtually in front of the employees to inspire them with these ideas so that they actually open the book and have it benefit them. And it's brilliant. It's amazing because not only is it helping to engage employees that are stressed right now and they're struggling, employers are engaging their employees and inspiring them at the same time while they're handing them a tool, Stressless Success book, handing them the tool that's going to benefit them now and for the rest of their lives. This is the perfect opportunity to grab this information and put it to use in your life.
Because many of us, not everyone, but many of us do have that flexibility right in our grasp right now. So we owe it to ourselves and to those who can't. And I'm thinking of people who are the medical professionals who have to be out there on the front line and the emergency professionals who are doing that. We can really take and shift this energy because it'll be a groundswell that we can share with others as we go forward.
Oh, that's just created a beautiful idea in my head. I should figure out a way to get this book donated to all the people on the front line. You just see, that's what happens when you're in the flow. Ideas just come to you. But you planted the seed. I happen to be a farmer too, by the way. You planted the seed in my head about something. So the front line people, right? So here's what we can do for them. Send them our love, our compassion, our pride, our gratitude to them. Send it because you can. You can send it energetically. And the whole world needs that. The whole world is so filled with fear. What the world needs is more people with elevated and expanded energy. because then that will shift the outcome for the world. And this has been proven in scientific research, by the way, and I share that in my book.
And so here we have the opportunity, and not to put a burden, but once we learn something, there is some responsibility that comes with it. First for ourselves we'll feel more empowered as we work with this, right, Janet?
You are going to get your power back. And here's why it's important. It's not just important for you, but I need you to do this, everyone listening, so that it has a positive impact on the people in your life, your loved ones, your friends, your coworkers, anyone you come in contact with. And that becomes a ripple effect that goes out around the world. And that is what we need. The more you have your power back and the more you begin to create your life as opposed to feeling a victim, the more you create, the more you're going to have, not just joy and fulfillment, but the more prosperity you're going to have. And the world needs everyone to have more prosperity because then you can give more to the world. Not just in charitable contributions, but everything you buy, everything you do. The world needs everyone to embrace this.
And we'll find, as with your experience, there was the appearance of success. You were working for a Fortune 500 company, but you were not obviously in the right place for you because it was literally killing you.
Yes. Now, this is interesting, Kate, because I did achieve success in my corporate position, but I paid a big price. And this is the learning that we need to take from that. Two things. Number one, I ended up in the hospital with a completely debilitating illness. The doctors gave me no hope, by the way. And now I am, 20 years later, perfectly healthy and vibrant with no illness whatsoever, no medications whatsoever, by the way. So I paid that price. But number two, people don't even realize the success that they can achieve. Because some people might be saying, well, I am successful. I've had pretty good. You have no idea the level of success you actually can experience when you take these teachings and put them to use. Because when you strive forward with less stress, greater success comes to you with ease. No longer do you need to burn yourself out with stress and struggle to achieve success. So greater success even. This is what I'm experiencing in my life. Without even effort, things are just landing in my lap. Things are happening. I put to use my goal-setting strategies from my book when we launched my book. And we thought if we get top 100, we'll be able to say that we're on the bestseller list. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be great to be in the top 10? Because then when people search, our book will show up on the first page of the search. We ended up in #1 bestseller in at least 5 categories because I applied exactly what I share in the book, Stressless Success. Every morning, we said, how's your energy? Me and my team. How's the energy? We didn't say, what are you thinking? You got to force a positive thought. We're like, what's your energy? And if the energy fell off, we worked on elevating and expanding our energy. And just by doing that, we not only achieved a goal, we exceeded it 5 times over. So imagine somebody in the corporate world, what they could actually achieve. Somebody running a small business, what you could actually achieve. Any individual out there that's an employee, what you could actually achieve. And this is the secret to high productivity, too. Because if you move forward with stress and struggle and negative energy, you're going to get a negative result. What I'm teaching you is when you move forward with even slightly elevated, expanded energy, you get a better result. And that is the secret to productivity and success.
And we have it within our grasp. You take us step by step through the process here in Stressless Success. And on top of that, you're making it available to us free at this time. You know, how can we not take full advantage of that?
Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that comment.
And so, how do we do that? Let's mention your website again, Janet.
I'm sending everyone to janetmckee.com, JANETMCKEE.com. That's me. I'm the author. I am a high-performance consultant. I'll be glad to talk to anybody, help them with these ideas, share my ideas. They'll get immediate download of the 3-day Banish Burnout Plan. That's how to get on the foundation of wellness. And you also have the opportunity to request a free sanitized copy of my paperback that I'm going to send to you. And you can find out more information about all that I have to offer, which is available on that website.
Perfect. So here we are, right at this point of being able to just create the best future imaginable, and you have helped us move in that direction, Janet McKee.
Thank you.
Oh, it's been so great to have this time with you. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Kate, for the invitation to be here. I'm honored. Appreciate it very much.
You're so welcome. And with that, we're at the end of a very full hour of Inspirational Women with Janet McKee and Sunday Morning Magazine with Maureen Ewing and Kathy Ulrich. I'm Kate Daniels, your host, and I greatly appreciate your sharing this hour with me and these special guests. For details you might have missed or information you'd like to know, please just send me an email, kated@warm1069.com, and I'll get right back to you. Also, if you'd like to listen again or share these important stories with your family and friends, find the podcast on our Warm 1069 webpage. Just click on the podcast tab, then Sunday mornings, and look for the show and guest names. I now wish you and your family a day of achieving the success you dream of and also help others achieve the same. Have a week of the same, and then please plan to join me again next weekend for another hour of Sunday Morning Magazine and Inspirational Women on Warm 1069. Good morning.